Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
You wearing ratty jackets from Stephen Barry's. Praying one day Big Red will win the NIT.
Ham is the water of meats.
Ham the water of meats.
Everybody dance with me. Ham's the
Someone
water.
need for
Ham is the
bacon.
water of meats. Ham is the water of meats.
So I realized last segment we were in the green room, that is the StreamYard, for this fine interview we're about to do, and we were making jokes about how no one is discussing Adrian Martinez coming back for a fifth year. No one is asking these questions, and Jack had nary a reaction, and I was thinking, man, he is pissed at us today. But then I realized he wasn't hearing our commentary, our fine commentary here on 1620 The Zone. Because look at his smirk now. Now he hears the jokes. Look at that. Hi, Jack.
Look how happy he is.
He's so happy. Maybe
Good
he's
one.
a Husker hater. This is all part of his plan.
Really good one. Really good one.
Hey, thanks, man.
By the way, how depressed are you that this whole all this work? I don't know if those of you who don't follow Jack on Twitter, and I understand why you don't. That's why we're doing the 7 stages
you've
of Jack
muted
Mitchell
him.
grief.
Yeah.
But he's been working hard on fixing his deck up.
Oh yeah, I've seen this and heard about this.
But the problem is when you watch games delayed on YouTube TV and the rest of the neighborhood is yelling.
Yeah.
I mean, how much delay was there?
So it was so frustrating because we finished the deck on hold on, I got an echo. We finished the deck on Saturday, and it was beautiful. And so we had the projector out. We were going to watch the game on the deck. I had my mom and my sister came over and watched the whole thing. And we realized in the third quarter that there were so many people who had done the same thing, watched the game outside, that we could hear, number one, around the neighborhood from different directions, people who are watching it on a service other than YouTube TV about 45 seconds to a minute before something good would happen. We'd hear them react. And then about 30 seconds before something good would happen, fireworks would go off in the neighborhood.
I was wondering because at one point you tweeted something about fireworks,
but nothing had happened at the game.
No,
right?
Nothing had happened in the game. And so I was a little confused.
No, but every time fireworks went off, I knew a touchdown was coming. Every time, and while that was fun, that was fine. But my mom was like, "Well, it's kind of fun to know something good's coming." Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem. When it's second down and they're on the 30-yard line and you don't hear anything, you start playing mind games with yourself. Like, oh man, if I don't hear a firework pretty soon, this drive's going to be a disaster. And I couldn't handle it. So after the third quarter was over, I said, we built this beautiful deck. It's nice, but I can't handle the spoilers. I said, everybody inside into the living room to watch the fourth quarter.
I'm surprised, Jack. And look, when people are critical of you, it's often over like the same point, so you get barraged with texts or tweets. But I'm surprised that you didn't think of doing like the antenna outside. I watched the game on KETV News Watch 7 with the antenna. I got to live tweet with everybody. It was so much fun. I haven't gotten to do that this year.
I don't know. I've got an antenna in a box somewhere in my house. I've never even opened it. I don't.
Bring out the antenna, digital antenna. They're back, folks.
It shouldn't have taken. I mean, being outside, it shouldn't have taken.
You just screw the thing in. You put it on the wall.
Yeah, you don't have to hang up a permanent.
I gotta hook it into the projector. I did not have time to do AV, like an AV project during a commercial break, Josh. That's a terrible idea.
Yeah, you don't have time. You can't plug in an antenna.
Come on.
Well, first of all, I didn't build the deck. My buddy did. He just told me what to do, and then I screwed it up. But no, I don't want to. I'm not screwing with that during a game. Come on.
No, prior to the game. Yeah.
Now you know. Yeah. Now you know you have to do it.
Now I know, and the millions of other times Nebraska's on network TV. That'll be great. Okay, really helpful. Thank you.
Gotcha, Jack. I'm happy to be here for you, man. Happy to be here.
I mean, the next game's going to be on BTN, and that's not ever going to happen.
Oh,
probably.
Saturday?
Maybe.
Saturday BTN. No,
ESPN Saturday's ESPN too.
Stuffer.
Yeah, well, that doesn't come on my antenna.
Yeah, same.
Oh, really? You don't get ESPN on the aerial?
I won't be able to live tweet with everybody. I'm going to have to put my stuff away. I liked it. It was fun to live tweet, making jokes with everybody.
Oh, yeah, I don't even look at Twitter. I can't do that. Except for during commercial breaks. The funny thing is, I get so used to that delay. This is a funny thing. I was actually at the Northwestern game and the Fordham game this year, and I'll do this thing where I'm watching the game, and I'm at the stadium and I won't look at Twitter because I'm afraid something's going to be spoiled. And then I'm like, wait, I'm here. I've become that conditioned to spoilers that I'll think it's happening somewhere else, and Twitter is still going to spoil it for me. I have to remind myself it's live in real time in front of me.
Jack, that is awesome.
You know what we need to do is we need to find fans of all of Nebraska's opponents and have them show up in Jack's neighborhood and just randomly light off fireworks during points of the game.
It'd be a good bit. Be a really good bit.
Oh, there's a weird number of Michigan fans in Lincoln already. I'm sure they're all. I can name like 5 of them.
You should just go to his house and watch the game on your phone in your car the entire time near it and just start lighting up bottle rockets every few minutes.
Why is YouTube TV like 90 seconds behind anything? It's so bad.
Well, I mean, it's that way no matter whatever. If you're streaming, it's going to be behind. It just is.
It's further behind than it should be.
Yeah, Jack has had the idea over the years to like sync Twitter up with streaming. Now we're going to have to sync fireworks being lit off in reality up with streaming. And I don't know if Jeff Bezos has that type of technology in his back pocket yet.
All I'm asking is if you're illegally setting off fireworks, I don't mind the illegal fireworks. Just to set a little stopwatch. You want to light it. Wait 60 seconds for everyone to catch up, and then set it.
That'd be great. And also save your cheering for about 60 seconds as well.
Just sit in silence after the
minute later
Levi Falk touchdown. And
same thing with profanities. If an interception happens.
If you think about this, friends, this is actually the smart way to do it anyway, because chances are there's going to be a flag on the play. And so you might as well give it a good 60 seconds because you never know when that late flag's going to come in.
Right.
So it's probably just a good standard operating procedure for the rest of your life watching your favorite teams.
This actually would be great for me for the rest of the year. Hold off your tweets, hold off I want a 60-second waiting period after every play for the entire game, just so I don't have to get in my mind about spoilers, because I get in my mind about the whole thing. I can't stand it.
All right, well, we're wasting time.
We're burying the lead, folks.
We need to address could Adrian Martinez play a 5th year?
I haven't seen anyone discussing
I haven't
this.
seen this, and I haven't heard this. This is all brand new information, apparently. So who would like to start the conversation?
I will. Could Adrian Martinez play a 5th year?
Yes.
Okay.
He could. There's a rule that they passed that they allow them to do it.
Jack, thoughts?
Here's my thoughts. I just had a random fleeting thought last night while I was waiting for the rain delay in Buffalo and Kansas City, and kind of thought, I think people know that he could, but there's not a real consensus. We haven't talked about it with you guys on this show. I don't even know. Maybe there is a real consensus that he is or he is not, or there is real obvious reasons he is or he is not. I haven't read articles. I just haven't seen it discussed a lot. And Twitter being the great place that it is, I mean, so many Twitter, you don't know what you must not follow much on social media, then you don't know what's going on. And then it turned in, that's because you don't like Adrian Martinez. Like, what are you talking about? And then it turned into me not downplaying his career, and I don't want him back. And I'm like, how am I being a villain here? I just thought there would be a little more talk about this at this point in the season. I'm so confused. And have you guys
in the middle of the season? I mean, it's not. Are Packer fans having the conversation about Aaron Rodgers 2022 today, or are they talking about the season?
You're on the other side of it. Then you thought it makes sense that people aren't talking about it. Most of Twitter was telling me I'm an idiot because people are talking about it everywhere. Have you got? Let me ask you this.
We have.
I can't listen to all 4 hours of you guys' show. I would if I could, but I don't. How much have you delved into this topic?
It's definitely lessened since the season has begun. We'll talk about it. It gets asked
periodically, and then and my take has been I'm leaning that he does not come back for a 5th year.
And that's where I was in the summer, and I've kind of changed my tune. If Scott Frost returns, which I think he will, I think that Adrian will also come back. I think I've gotten to that point now. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
That was the most in-depth quality conversation I've heard about that in months. Very interesting. Thank you for that.
Want him to come back, or do you hate him?
No, I want him to come back. I mean, only in it. Of course, I want him to come back.
But Jack, he's not a winner.
Oh God, that's stupid. And I've never said that. I have never said.
No, I'm not saying you're saying that. Yeah. But that's where the conversation has been this week. It's funny too, and I planned on talking about this later if not today, at least this week, because the conversation's always coming up when it comes to Martinez, and it's true. He doesn't have a game-winning drive. That graphic they show on every NFL game. Matthew Stafford has 17 fourth quarter, comeback drives. Tom Brady has 7,268,000.
Got a lot of them.
Yeah, he's got a ton. They always show that graphic. Unfortunately, Martinez
0.
doesn't have that. The only thing that comes close is the drive he had to tie Iowa in his freshman year. But then Iowa had enough time to kick a field goal and win the game. But I think it to me, in some ways, it's similar to pitchers' wins. Baseball is finally starting to get away from this idea about pitchers' wins and how important they are. Well, football, for some reason, has taken up the baton about quarterback wins. And I get it. We're going to affix because it is the most important position in sports. But to me, football is the ultimate team game. And it's hard for me when I watch these games. The first thing where my mind goes is, well, would they have been in the damn game in the first place without Martinez on the field?
Right.
And if the answer to that question is no, they wouldn't have been, then to me, it kind of cancels out the end of game argument, because you got to be in the game in the first place. And Martinez gives them the best chance to do that.
Yeah. And he made, they absolutely wouldn't have been in the game if it weren't for him and those throws he made in the third quarter, right? I mean, yeah. Yeah, there's no doubt. No, I mean, if you asked me as a fan if I want him back, I absolutely do. It's not been perfect, but the improvement has been exciting. He's got, yes, the final drive things haven't worked, but man, the experience has paid off. He would be, I would absolutely, in a heartbeat, I would take. Plus, hopefully you have this entire offense besides Samori Toure coming back as well with him. And yeah, that would be exciting for next year. So I hope he is. I guess I just missed all of the discussion and maybe clarity on whether he is or not. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know what the opposite choice is. Not coming back. Is it ending your football career? Is it transferring?
So I think there are three options, right? There is he returns, he transfers, he tries to go pro.
Or 4, he does retire.
Or I guess 4, he does retire. I think that's the least likely.
I think so.
I don't think I don't know. The transfer, he and Frost are so tight. I know.
But, I mean, we've seen crazier things, man.
And he does have talent. Like, we talked a little bit, Jack, last week about John and I did about Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts as like a college player and a pro prospect, basically in relation to Adrian, can he be a pro prospect? And I said, look, Jalen was really good in college, but he obviously had some issues. And I think those issues are showing so far with the Eagles. But he also went elsewhere in college from Bama to Oklahoma, a place, that is known, of course, for their quarterback development. And I thought that he was really good. And so you wonder if you're Adrian or if you're a team that is looking, has an open spot at quarterback. Do you think that you could take him, use those tools, and try to mold him into somebody else? But the other thing about this, too, is would he want to go to another school / learn another playbook this far in, or would he just rather try his hand at the NFL?
Well, I think there's something else we have to consider here, too, because Scott Frost, he has other quarterbacks in the system. We presume that one of them is going to be a starter someday here or someone else coming in. At some point, I think Frost is going to want to sit down with Martinez and really weigh not only Martinez's options, but Nebraska's options as well. Because do you want to stunt further quarterback development by bringing a guy back for a 5th year, knowing how volatile the transfer portal is? Let's just say, for argument's sake, okay, that Frost really sees something with Logan Smothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does he play this out to where, well, Logan, we're gonna have to wait 1 more year because Adrian wants to come back? Or if he sees something there that he said, hey, I can build on this, and doesn't want to lose him, that he maybe says, Adrian, it might be better for you and for me. I'll find you a good place, and at the same time, we can, find our place.
I don't know. I mean, I understand the theory. Number one, I dislike that theory. And you'll recall, I got killed because I wasn't one of the people who said, hey, let Joe Burrow come in. Let whoever the young guys are in the program. You build around who gives you the best chance to win. right now at that point. Forget this building for the future. And I just can't fathom with the relationship that Frost and Martinez have, him ever saying that to him. And so I get what you're saying. That
but as a coach, and who knows, maybe he's shown enough. Martinez has this year where Frost might advise him that going pro is a good option
after a good season.
Yeah, because
is he showing up on any of those lists at all right now? I mean, I don't
and I don't think he's going to be a good quarterback in the pros if he's even on a roster. He just has too many limitations.
Yeah,
but I don't think that's a harsh opinion.
In terms of a transfer, I assume you'd be going someplace that is more of a playoff contender quarterback, as the theory goes, like a Jalen Hurts situation where you go and you get featured. Is there a school that would? I mean, I this is me saying I like him and I want him to stay. Is there a school that would want him in that position?
I think there are schools that would want
top level, a top level playoff contender school. You think so?
I don't know if top level play. I'd have to go through all the different teams.
Definitely not tier one. The tier one schools would not, in my opinion, they would not want Adrian.
All right, let's throw out this example.
Like Bama, Clemson, those schools, they don't want him.
Let's throw out this example. Let's say Nebraska doesn't get to 6 wins.
Okay.
Doesn't go to a bowl.
Okay.
Next year, you're losing a lot of guys off the defense.
Yeah.
Maybe Adrian weighs and says, "Man, I'd really like to play in a bowl game before I'm done." So maybe he goes
somewhere else that gives him a better chance of doing so.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a possibility.
It does make sense, Not to mention too the idea of just wanting to go somewhere different. You're only young once.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that I don't think we take enough into consideration is 5 years of college, despite what John Belushi said in Animal House, is a long time.
I don't know. I would have taken another year. I would have taken an absolute another year of college. Yeah, listen, it's and
another year of law school.
No, no. Yeah, that's right. He's in grad school now. He's in grad school. Okay, but let's look at it. I'm glad we're finally having this conversation that no one has had in this depth before,
that no one has ever had. Yes.
I'm so glad for it, and I appreciate you bringing it up. Let's look at what benefits he could have by staying then. All right, so the pros we think might be a long shot for him. Okay, who knows? That could change, but I think we're all in agreement.
He's going to get a flyer, but I don't think that he has a career playing NFL quarterback.
Let's say you finish out starting this year, you start next year. You take any chances about how successful the team is in those 2 years. On the other hand, you go down right with how many records in the record book at the University of Nebraska? Like
basically all of them.
Right? I mean, just in terms of statistical records, assuming he stays because he's so likable, because he's such a good communicator, because he's all of these things. Like, I don't think college, when they're thinking about the NFL, I don't think they underestimate probably just how well their college career can serve them in Lincoln, Nebraska, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just how many opportunities that actually will bring up. And it absolutely would for him. I mean, he would have all kinds of opportunities by being a well-liked, successful Nebraska player who's incredibly, I think, talented and smart and knows football and all of those things.
Well, here's the problem, though. Well-liked. There's a lot of people not happy with him today. And we can shake our head, but God, I hear from a lot of them. And
I do too.
It bugs me. It bugs me because I think he's been an exemplary individual. Is he the greatest quarterback of all time? Of course not. But Nebraska's in a better place, in my opinion, with him than without him, based on what the other options have been.
And he's so freaking likable off the field. That's the other thing. I mean, I don't quite understand it. He's so incredibly likable off the field, beyond what's happening on the field. I mean, there's plenty of quarterbacks out there in college football that are probably hard to like, who just feel like they're jerks. But he doesn't. He got benched last year. He did and said all the right things. He continues to do and say all the right things. He continues to get up there, take responsibility. He's the best. Honestly, he's the best communicator on the entire team, including the coaching staff, when I hear him talk about this team.
Yeah, you know what he is?
Maybe that's his future job. He'll be the new sports information director when he retires.
You know what he is? As John said what he did, and Jack, you were shaking your head. Adrian is not the cause, but he is a symptom of like the issues that the program have had. But because he's a quarterback, it's the easiest. Outside of the head coach, the quarterback is always going to be the easiest person involved in an organization to kind of sling the arrows at. And look, I mean, what John said a few minutes ago is also true. Doesn't have the game-winning drive. Doesn't have that moment. Saturday could have been that moment. He just doesn't have that. And so, but he also makes mistakes at these, just the most inopportune times. And so I think I think it's okay to say Adrian is not, the best quarterback around, or he's not X, Y, and Z, but he also, I think, is solid enough. It's just, solid enough's not working.
He needs to be the All Big Ten quarterback, right?
He's gonna be an all conference quarterback.
Okay, in the conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, it is time now.
7 stages.
For the 7 stages of Jack Mitchell grief. Literally, this came up on a whim as we were doing a show prep this morning. Josh and I spent a lot of time on this.
Yes, we did.
And as you can see, I have built graphics.
Good graphic work.
So, stage 1, self-flagellation.
Flatulation?
Yeah, not flatulation.
Oh,
flagellation.
Flagellation. Josh was nice enough to look up the definition. For those of us who are unfamiliar, self-flagellation.
Self-flagellation is the action of flogging oneself, especially as a form of religious discipline. And many would say that our attachment to sports, specifically our favorite teams,
a religious thing.
Is a form of our own religion. So yeah, Jack Mitchell certainly he beats himself up in that form of self-flagellation when things start going poorly.
Talks of terms such as white hot searing pain.
Yes.
Get brought out on Twitter.
Yes. It's going to lead into the next one, but he often brings up his testicles.
He does bring up his testicles.
This is stage 1?
This is stage one. Yeah.
Now remember, this is grief. This is when the loss has happened. This is not midstream in the game.
Yes.
This is when the realization that the defeat has happened. Self-flagellation is
real quickly. Just to let you go on. That's accurate so far. My first impulse after this is over is to let everyone know how painful it is for me and all of them, and let them know if they're not experienced, they've never experienced anything like it. They've got nothing to compare it to. Their lives are great compared to ours.
Don't skip ahead.
Yeah, don't skip ahead. Now, we reserve the right that sometimes these stages can get mixed up a little bit,
jumbled.
But this is our best estimation of the 7 stages of Jack Mitchell grief.
Yeah.
So white hot searing pain. Stage 2 then leads to the groin kick gifs.
Yes,
the groin kick,
and just that whole phase of groin kicks.
Now I'm curious. You probably do what 90% of your tweeting off of your phone, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you have all the gifs saved, or do you just randomly just search and pick a new one? I know you like the one where the guy's getting kicked on the beach.
Yeah,
and gets launched.
Josh didn't know what that was until like a month ago.
Yeah, I know. I remember when I finally clicked play on it, I was like, oh, that's why he tweets out the one of this guy jumping in the air.
But then there's also the ones of the Japanese guys who are constantly getting kicked in the nuts.
No, the beach is my go-to every time. I don't have it saved. I just search.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes I have to search different things. I wonder if my wife looked at my gift search history, if she would be concerned at all. It's a lot about groins and
my wife.
I hope she doesn't follow you on Twitter, to be honest. That's another story altogether. So that's stage 2. Stage 3, the end of sports joy.
And this is what you were just describing, right? This is the stage of nobody else knows the pain that I feel.
Well, actually, it's he wonders aloud if he'll ever get to experience joy ever again in his life.
I just want one happy moment. This was going to be the happy moment.
Even though he conveniently forgets that he lived through the
greatest
era of Husker football, and his team won a World Series in 2015. But I digress.
Since then, though, it's been a living hell, John. It's been a living hell. And your team won one since then, too. So I don't want to hear your crap. And you got a team that goes to the NCAA tournament all the time. So you can shut up. My pain's way worse than yours.
Also, he just said your team won it while he's forgetting that the Royals won it literally the year before.
I know.
Whatever.
I know.
And they were a whole 365 days before, I guess.
Well, it's been a living hell since that game 6. I'll tell you that right now.
So we've actually covered this one specifically, but stage 4 is
there we go. My
Husker grief is greater than all other grief.
This is worse than being a Browns fan.
And by the way, Jack has done this before the Cubs won the World Series. He tried for years to argue with me that the pain of Husker basketball fans is far greater than the pain that Cubs fans experienced for over 100 years. Now, he's obviously wrong, but again, this is his grieving process, not my grieving process.
I'm sure there's some poor old 97-year-old lady who died in 2015 and just missed seeing the Cubs win the World Series. Well, she had a great life compared to me watching Nebraska basketball.
What about the Browns fans? Have you ever seen the Browns fans? They've had like nothing.
Lions fans.
Lions fans.
The Lions have lost 2 games this year on walk-off field goals.
They have won 1 playoff game in my lifetime.
This decade, I saw him in the playoffs with Ndamukong Suh. I mean, they got to enjoy the fun of the postseason.
Jack tweeted out something this morning that said something to the effect of, the rent is due, universe owes us.
Yes.
I got contacted by a Detroit Lions fan who said, well, if Husker fans are looking for the rent being due, Detroit sports fan is looking for reparations from the universe. So
the Tigers were in the World Series like twice in the last decade. What are we talking about?
The Red Wings used to be Hockey Town.
Yeah. All right.
The Pistons just beat the Lakers a few years ago in the NBA Finals.
That was 17 years ago, but yes, that did happen.
Stage 5 is Jack targets the source of his pain. This is the team, or if it's an official that wronged him. And likes to mock very specific idiosyncrasies.
And so
this is where Coach Boyfriend came from.
Yeah, so if you miss the origin of the joke and then you see the tweets from him, you're like, wait, what is he even talking about? Like, you kept referring to yourself this morning as a news media something or other, right? What was the thing that you kept saying? I'm a news talk host. And I was like, did I miss what? I missed the beginning of the joke.
That's months ago. But
okay, see, there you go. See, some jokes have
that has nothing to do with Husker losses. That has
okay.
I mean, I can explain it to you, but it won't be that interesting.
Jack was targeting, Harbaugh being a weirdo.
Yeah. And so it just constantly goes at the same thing over and over.
Yes, and just drives that point home. And then stage 6 is to repeat stage 5, but to do it in all caps. So really, it's the same stage, but he's serious.
He's yelling,
and he's reached that penultimate stage when the tweets start coming in all caps.
That like today, everybody losing their mind because Michigan danced. You guys saw this, right?
Yeah.
Michigan danced during the Thunderstruck thing, and everyone was like, "Oh, well, even my own colleague." I got after Caleb because he was like, "I really like that mentality." What mentality? Music came on, so they danced. Okay, come on. Ugh.
And then finally, we reach the final stage, which I have not seen yet. So apparently the grieving process is still ongoing 48 hours later. Stage 7 is reminding himself Nebraska volleyball is good and all is well with John Cook's program.
Dream Crushers.
And we get the Dream Crusher tweets.
I can't wait to crush some dreams.
Exactly.
And then they went out and just murdered Penn State this weekend, and everything is back to normal. And Rutgers. Penn State on Friday, Rutgers on Sunday.
Yeah.
They won both of those. They got the lineup set. They're clearly winning the national championship, so I'm glad.
There you go. See? Yep.
So did we hit it pretty close? I mean, does that sound pretty accurate?
Did we miss any of the stages?
The only thing you then miss, there's probably a next stage where then I start talking myself into to set the whole thing up. Where I start talking to myself into the next week, positivity for the next whatever's next, which I have started doing is trying to figure out, okay, you win the 2 games, then you got the 3 games against Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Iowa. If you get
win 2 of those, you're 7-5. There you go.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there you go. Bowl game.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen, the 7 stages of Jack Mitchell grief.
And then you missed me just fighting with everyone on Twitter about everything.
That's kind of in the all cap stage, I think. But that's fair. That's fair.
But that also takes place in the middle of games too.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
That's true. I'm almost worse in the middle. People, I think, feel sorry for me after games. In the middle of games, we fight. Yeah.
Who followed you this weekend? Was it Blackledge? Who was it that followed you?
Yeah, I wonder if he unfollowed me yet.
Yeah, I'm worried about Todd Blackledge seeing the Jack Mitchell.
How did you get Todd Blackledge to follow you?
I don't know. He followed me. He was looking for someplace to eat, I think. I don't know.
Oh, I
figure I eat a lot in Lincoln. I don't know. He just followed me randomly.
He went and had muchachos.
He had muchachos.
Yeah, he gave it a good review.
I never did see it. So he did give it.
Oh yeah, and then he had the burrito.
What period did he do that? I want to go
in the second quarter.
Second quarter.
Yep.
Was that
burrito was huge? Yeah.
Was that before or after the disconcerting signals?
That was
because I have everything benchmarked. Everything. It's kind of like it's kind of like AD and BC. Everything in my timeline is now. Did it happen before disconcerting signals or after?
I think it was like around the same time. Honestly, it's pretty close.
Okay,
it was halfway through the quarter.
I'll look for that on my DVR.
Yeah.
Jordan with one question. Jack's hair looking a little more gray than usual today.
I wondered if anybody would note that I wasn't wearing a hat. I didn't have time to go up and get one. So, yeah, it probably is. and a little less than usual.
You're like
Thanks,
Nate
Jordan.
on Ted Lasso. I don't think anyone in this room gets that reference. So, but you look
No,
like
I quit watching Ted Lasso because they had a Christmas episode in fall.
Is that really why you quit watching it?
Good for you.
Yep, I won't watch Christmas episodes.
That
and
episode
non-Christmas
is
season.
awesome. It's the best
Good
episode
for
the
you.
show's ever had.
I look forward to watching it in December.
Oh, I've rewatched it like 4 or 5 times.
Good
It puts
for
me in
you.
a good mood.
I'm proud of you.
I don't do Christmas TV and non-Christmas season. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm usually the same way, but if a show just randomly surprises me with a new Christmas episode, I'm not going to be like, no, I'm not watching it.
Could you do me a favor and walk across the hall here in another 30 days when your sister station starts playing nonstop Christmas music? And just,
Simply.
boy. I got NRG Corporate online too for John. You're not supposed to say that. John actually got in trouble for saying that on our old News and Talk Radio.
Well, I'm
show.
not there anymore, so I can say it. Stop playing the damn Christmas music before Thanksgiving.
Listen, John, everybody likes to hear that Bruce Springsteen song that he mails it in and laughs through half of it 8,000 times before Thanksgiving.
I like that you got in trouble for that. Meanwhile, here we openly wonder why FM stations still exist to play music while we're on the air. Download Spotify, you weirdos.
You did a great job with the company line, you idiots. Jeez.
Well, I filled in on the morning show on Sweet 98.5 last month. And during the break, it was like, hey, if you have any thoughts on, maybe things that you would want to hear on this show or whatever, let me know. And I said, well, I would play less music and talk more. I don't understand why we're not talking very much. He was like, yeah, we got to play the music. I was like, all right, well, never mind. That's my only criticism.
Well, we play music too. We play bumps.
Also, move us to the keg. That's those are my 2 thoughts on FM. 101.9 The Zone and more talking.
Oh, no, I like that station. No, don't move you guys there. Please.
Okay, Nick. Wow.
All right. Well, thank you for indulging us our 7 stages of Jack Mitchell grief.
That was good.
Let's hope that we're not revisiting any of those 7 stages.
7
next week.
Oh, guess what? I'm going to be in Minneapolis this coming weekend, and so
I'm picking them to win now.
We can put those on steroids this weekend if I have to drive 6 hours back after a devastating loss.
Yeah, Chance, you're not doing overreaction. It's okay, man. It's okay.
I am.
Sean is.
Dear God. All right, that's our good friend Jack Mitchell. See you later, and have fun up there in Minneapolis.
Thank you. I'll try.
All right, past time for break. Be back in a minute. You're listening to Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620.